show, 5 Stripe Fam. I'm AJ. Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube. Welcome to another episode of 5 Stripe Weekly, and Atlanta United, of course, are out of the playoffs, and apologies for the delay between episodes. It's been a lot going on in my life personally, but yes, we have an episode for you this week. Playoffs are still happening in MLS, and it's down to the Final Four. And yeah, it'd be really great if Atlanta United were playing right now, but yeah, alas, it seemed like a perfect time to take a little bit of a breather after such a long season. So yeah, lots of news to touch on, and let's get into it. Yeah, Atlanta United have some awards won, so yes, real good for at least the plaudits in a down season, missing the playoffs, of course. But Thiago Almada, he has been named the 2022 MLS Newcomer of the Year with 6 goals and 12 assists. Yeah, definitely a really good season for Almada. Yeah, probably and possibly could have gotten more if other players were performing around him, but yeah, remain to be seen just how long he does actually stay, if he moves in the January window or not. That will be very interesting, and that's something that we might be anticipating, really. But it also could be the summer that he is moved as well. But massive season for Thiago Almada. Definitely carried us in a lot of moments, and definitely our most creative force for the most consistent part of our season. But yeah, congrats to Almada, and yeah, there is another award that we picked up along the way. Josef Martinez, he voted by the fans. His goal against the New England Revolution, the overhead kick, that assist from Brooks Lennon. Yeah, I mean, just that bullet of a bike was incredible and was voted the goal of the year. Yeah, we have in yesteryear as well, Tito Vichalba with his against Orlando City. Yeah, it's not new grounds for Atlanta United. Definitely awesome to see Josef Martinez awarded for that. Unfortunately, it of course was a little bit yeah, the goal didn't really mean much to a degree, and Josef Martinez couldn't really celebrate it. It was just like a very muted. I mean, we were, we drew it level. It's just like, all right, we even draw it level. We, yeah, it was a consolation goal, and so it's just one of those. Yeah, really great goal, but unfortunately, nothing. Nothing to really come about it in terms of importance, but yeah, award nonetheless, and definitely, Atlanta United fans, they came out in full force again to vote this goal the winner, and presumably a lot of fans across the league as well. But big news, I'm filming this on a Tuesday for full transparency, and MLS, according to The Athletic, they are considering a massive change to its playoff format for 2023. And yeah, this it may increase the total of the playoff matches from the current 13 to roughly 30 next year. And yeah, it's that's gonna be very interesting. I mean, 30 postseason contests. One possible outcome would be to shift the World Cup, or shift to a World Cup style playoff tournament. And yeah, it's not completely clear what it might look like, but it could possibly look like this, is what one of the sources, according to The Athletic, that the top 8 teams from each conference would qualify. And then these teams would be split into 4 groups of 4 teams each. And then groups would be segregated by conference, and then grouped with fellow Western Conference teams, and Eastern Conference teams would only be grouped with Eastern Conference teams. And each team would play 3 group stage matches, one against each other, and then, once pretty much against all 3 in there. And the top 2 seeds in each group would host 2 group stage games, and the bottom 2 seeds would host 1 group stage game. The top 2 teams from each group would advance to an 8-team single elimination knockout stage. And then, like the group stage, the knockout stage would also be divided by conference. And then higher seeds would also host the knockout stage matches, with the Western Conference champion advancing to the MLS Cup against the Eastern Conference champion. And they said that this potential new format also noted that MLS could structure such a tournament that it plays multiple group stages matches every night for nearly 2 weeks. So, that would be crazy to cover. It obviously possibly has a little bit of a stake from Apple TV. They want maybe more product to be shown, and to the other degree as well, where with more games, it's not as much of a blip as maybe MLS playoffs can be, especially, this season it was pretty much, you blink and it's pretty much down to 4 teams. So it is, interesting, and Apple TV would be getting their bang for the buck for sure, if, every kind of region tuned in to their teams. So definitely very interesting. But Sydney Hunt, he wrote on Twitter that basically this equates to many as 53 matches for any MLS team. That's 34 regular season matches, and up to 6 U.S. Open Cup matches, up to 7 Leagues Cup matches, up to 6 playoff matches, and that's quite a number. 53 games. You will have to have a deep squad to be able to handle this, and luckily, LA United, we are not averse to paying for the players and getting enough talent in, but it's how will that talent perform? And so I don't think I worry too hard about us in terms of our depth. We will shell out if we feel like we are wanting to compete in all competitions. But even just the supporter shield as well, that I think is a big talking point here, that the importance of it lessens and lessens year by year. Yes, 34 league matches, but it ultimately means as much as maybe an MLB division, crown, essentially a banner. And so that's really kind of all you really are getting there, and hopefully that banner is bigger than the NYCFC one that is displayed at Yankee Stadium. But moving on from that, Arthur Blank, he spoke to the press, and he seemingly shored up the position of head coach Gonzalo Pineda. He also mentioned that and admitted that the team's recruitment and personnel is under assessment. One would probably assume that Carlos Bocanegra is probably the one he's mentioning there, but he says, quote, "We don't play matches to lose. We think we have a bright young coach who is moving in the right direction. We are assessing other areas of the club like scouting and personnel that we think are important." And yeah, that's to maybe some people's dismay, Gonzalo Pineda has been, kind of reassured of his position there. But Arthur Blank was also asked by the Twitter handle Steak Shapiro about the level of urgency he feels over getting LA United back on track. He said, quote, "It's very, very high. It's extraordinarily high." And I think as it should be, because it's, this is just not acceptable. I mean, 2 out of the 3 seasons, of the last 3 seasons rather, have missed the playoffs, and I think we're seeing that malaise in the fan base right now. So not good at all. But Carlos Bocanegra, he also spoke after the season as well, and he confirmed that Pineda will return in 2023. He praised Pineda as a bright young coach, and that building continuity and signing players to Pineda's liking are part of the plans moving forward. Boca also said that he wouldn't be surprised if MLS makes changes to player acquisition rules mechanisms after the League's Cup tournament. And maybe he meant before because of the tournament. But other bits and bobs, Emerson Hyndman, he had a quad injury that, quote, they weren't able to get quite right, but he will be training with the team in the off season. And Pineda said that there was nothing that, Gonzalo Pineda also spoke after the season as well, and he said he has nothing against Josef Martinez, and he can very easily speak with him. And he said, quote, "No major issues like some of us may think." But Boca and Pineda, they spoke a lot about various other things as well. And nothing too revelatory, but Boca, he did say that he's unsure of his future, but it's not surprising, considering that there is a new search for the president. Of course, Steve Cannon is the interim CEO at the moment. But in terms of other notes from their conference, he said, in terms of Pineda, he said that they have a clear idea on which positions to upgrade, but must speak with the players first. He said he believes in the club's process. If I didn't, I would quit. And he also mentioned that Marcelino Moreno has been an ultimate pro. He wasn't used as much because he needed to balance the pitch with more of people that were more direct, maybe running in behind as well. Pineda, he also said he accepts the criticism and pointed out that the various injuries affected him and the team on a personal level too, considering what these guys had to play for. Said the identity of the team is there with possession and various attacking stats. And Pineda said he was very high on the academy, and mentioned high expectations of Johnny Fortune and others. Carlos Bocanegra, this is interesting. He mentioned on Josef Martinez's future, there's nothing been decided. Quote, "We're still going to have discussions. We need to talk." And he also mentioned that there's 1 year left on his deal, and there is a club option for the 2024 season as well. So, when Josef Martinez signed an extension, that wasn't really mentioned. So, there is, the very, very interesting bit that he's fully under contract. And, in terms of Boca on Almada, he said, quote, "At some point he will go to Europe and play in the Champions League. I don't know what's going to come this winter in terms of transfer offers. Our thought is he'll be coming back, but we know eventually he will go." And eventually as well, not eventually, but Boca, he said that he would like to have Ozzy Alonso back, and that LA United are in a good place with the salary cap. Ezequiel Barco is on a 2-year loan, and Eric Lopez is on a 1-year loan. But yeah, definitely interesting. All those little bits. But yeah, Josef Martinez, the fact that he is under contract and with a club option for the 2024 season as well, yeah, that definitely puts us in a more pole position regarding him. And I think that probably is at least if we're trying to move him or if he's trying to move, we have a little bit more leverage. But I think another interesting bit is Ozzy Alonso. I mean, yeah, I think I agree it would be good to have him back, but the injury coming back from that obviously would be something of a question mark. As well, there is, I think, maybe less of a worry because he's not that type of player where he needs to be explosive like, say, Josef Martinez. But yeah, definitely. Still you need your legs nonetheless, and he is, getting higher in age in his 30s. But yeah, in terms of moving on into MLS attendance numbers, Atlanta United led the league with 47,116 average, with 800,966 total paid attendance. Next up was Charlotte at 35,260 and Seattle at 33,607, Nashville at 27,554, and then rounding that out, Toronto at 25,423. So, yeah, definitely we had a large portion, in terms of the biggest numbers in the league. And, yeah, I think you can see also, though, that the total number is down from past years. Past years, we definitely hit over the million mark. And, yeah, you can kind of see that, unfortunately, it's a trending downward kind of statistic. But, good to note nonetheless. But, yeah, should we get the band back together? DC United, they have fired GM Lucy Rushton. Of course, she was formerly one of our stat heads, and yeah, they've also let go some other personnel as well from their front office. But yeah, Lucy Rushton definitely part of our success early on. Definitely could be somebody that we bring back and see, but I think it will be kind of contingent on what the new president, in terms of when he comes in, what he will be thinking. But yeah, what do you guys think? Should Lucy Rushton be brought back if it were? But on Twitter, according to Steve Fenn at Stat Hunting, that handle, yeah, he tweeted, "My MLS Wages charts show you payrolls across the league and salary disparities within each roster." He said, "Thanks, MLS Players Association, for the data. Check out this interactive tableau public to see previous seasons." But largely, it's more about this table, which if you're listening on the podcast, you won't be able to see per se. So I'll kind of dig through audibly with that. But the 2022 MLS Wages, you pretty much have kind of a table of who, in terms of players, are paid a lot, who are the millionaires, who are being paid in the 500 to 1 million, and then who are being paid from the 100K to 500K, and who are being paid from the 66K to 100K. But yeah, the in terms of LA United, they're fourth in the league in terms of that. Yeah, with 22.4 million. Leading the league is Toronto with 32.2. LA Galaxy second at 27.3, and Miami at 24.2. So yeah, fourth in the league, missed the playoffs. You look at Philadelphia at the bottom of the league, only paid 10.4 million for their incredible roster. New York Red Bulls, are the last in the league with that. I mean, there's not a correlation between in terms of how high the wages are and the performance in the league. So, yeah, I mean, Toronto, definitely are one of those teams that lately have been struggling to make the playoffs, and high wages. I'm sure, none are too happy there. But, we shouldn't be too happy either. I mean, we could probably allocate some resources a lot better, but that's essentially a very, very interesting kind of gather from that table. But last bit of news was that from Reddit, Frugal Z, the most searched club in every U.S. state, this map of the United States. And for those that can't see it on the podcast, it's what you expect possibly for some of the states. Of course, Atlanta and Georgia, LA United are the most searched. Nashville, Charlotte, Nashville SC, Charlotte FC are the most searched there. Portland Timbers, Seattle Sounders, but a lot of these other ones are either Barcelona or Chelsea, or it's Liverpool as well. Obviously in the kind of Massachusetts area with the Fenway Group. That makes sense. That's the owners there. The soccer fans would be fans of them, fans of Liverpool. But Florida, Barcelona, and I think interestingly, Manchester United in Alaska is a prevailing searched team there. So no surprise that LA United are the one that are searched the most in Georgia. But really, really interesting map nonetheless. But that does it for the news and pretty much the entire episode, except for the question of the day. And the question of the day is, what window do you think Thiago Almada is going to move? Do you think it's going to be the January window? Do you think it's going to be the summer window? Or do you think it's going to be after a full season next season? I mean, would you like him to stay? Would you want him to move on so that we can find someone that's a little bit more of a stalwart creatively, so we can maybe gain a little bit more stability? You can kind of see that the best players for some of these playoff teams, they have some stalwarts that have kept them really, really good for a long time. You look at say, of course, Carlos Vela in LAFC. You have Andre Blake with Philadelphia Union. You have Hani Mukhtar with Nashville FC. That's and obviously, of course, Andre Blake is not a creative force, but it is one of those things where there might be some validity and truth to that we might need to explore. But what do you think? What window do you think Almada should move? Let us know in the comments below. But that is the episode there and there. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. I've been AJ. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.